How to install Easy Lock inserts on a neck. The threaded insert model is Easy Lock 400-008 CR stainless steel inserts for hardwoods. They have an 832 internal thread and use a drive tool and a 1764 drill bit for installation. The set comes with a brad point bit, but for enlarging pre-existing holes, which is what I'll be doing in this video, you'll need to buy a 1764 twist bit separately. I'll also demonstrate a more accurate method for enlarging the holes, which involves a step bit and a chucking reamer in addition to the twist bit. For my complete tutorial on installing bolt-on necks from scratch, which includes information on both twist and brad point bits, check the link I've provided in the description box. In the meantime, let's continue with the installation of threaded inserts on a guitar neck with pre-existing screw holes. Measure the insert with digital calipers. Add 40 thousandths for clearance, lock the calipers, and put them against the drill bit. Mark with a Sharpie, and tape around the Sharpie line to make a depth stop. Cut a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch piece of leather or other padding material, load it into a 4-inch drill press vise, then place the heel of the neck into the vise face down. Tighten it until it's snug. It also helps to really press down on the neck with one hand while tightening the vise with the other to make sure it's mounted as securely as possible. You don't want the neck moving while you're drilling. Make sure your drill press table is level, then load the twist bit into the chuck and tighten it. Place the drill press vise onto the drill press table. Check the neck for square with a bubble level. If necessary, shim the underside of the drill press vise to bring the neck to level. Another option for clamping the neck is to use a neck rest caul with clamp holes, a C-clamp, and a clamping caul for the back of the neck. Use a bubble level to verify that the heel of the neck is flat after clamping, and, if necessary, just like with the drill press vise, use shims under the bottom of the neck rest caul to correct it. Scrap leather and non-slip mat work very well for bigger adjustments, and for finer adjustments, strips of mylar film are perfect. It's also critically important to mention that checking for level means checking the x-axis and the y-axis. Personally, it's easier for me to think of it as checking pitch and roll, which can be understood by these pictures of airplane movements. Pitch is rotation on an object's y-axis from front to back. The movement of the spirit level would look like this. Roll is rotation on an object's x-axis from side to side. The movement of the spirit level would look like this. Make sure there's no pitch and no roll before drilling each individual hole and before driving the inserts into every individual hole. I prefer this Bethel V20AL mini pocket level for the job. It's very easy to see and is the perfect size. I just wish I knew about it before shooting the main parts of this video. Once the neck is secure and level, we can move on to drilling the holes. Line up the neck heel under the bit and turn it on. Lower it slowly, holding the vise very lightly. When you're using a twist bit and pilot holes, like I'm using here, drilling down only a very small amount initially, while holding the workpiece lightly, will pull the workpiece to center. I start all of the holes this way. Once the initial shallow drilling pulls the workpiece to center, I'll then hold it firmly in place and drill to depth. Check the neck for level again to make sure nothing is shifted, and repeat on the other holes. If you want to be really accurate, you can start the holes with a step bit, drill to depth with a twist bit, then get them to size with a chucking reamer. Here I'm using a step bit up to the 1/4 inch marking. The step bit will keep things centered much more easily than relying on a spinning twist bit to pull the workpiece to center. After using the step bit, use a taped off twist bit of the same diameter, 1/4 inch in this case, and drill the hole to depth. Then it's time to finish the hole by bringing it to the proper diameter with a chucking reamer. Chucking reamers are meant to enlarge holes, and the reamer should be no more than 15 thousandths of an inch larger than the hole to be reamed. We just made a 1/4 inch hole with the step bit and twist bit, which is 250 thousandths, and the reamer is bringing it to 265 thousandths, exactly 15 thousandths greater in diameter. Letting the twist bit pull the workpiece to center can work, and it's a lot simpler and a lot faster to do, but it's not simpler and faster when you drill a hole too far off center, find out that you can't get the neck back on, and have to plug the hole with a dowel and do the whole thing all over again. One more note on accuracy. Clamping the drill press vise or neck rest caul in place is also an option, though I've only done this when using a brad point bit on either plugged holes or brand new necks that don't have any holes at all. My technique is to lower the brad point bit down onto the set mark to hold the neck and vise in position, then, while holding that bit firmly against the set mark, tightening the clamp. I'll double check that the brad point bit is still dead center after clamping before drilling the hole. I'm also using my special C-clamp that's appeared in many of my other videos that Steve Kubecka, my friend and mentor, TIG welded for me many years ago. The long, flat steel bar makes clamping to the underside of a drill press a lot easier. Once the holes are drilled, the next step is countersinking. Add a slight countersink to keep things clean. Countersinking the holes helps to prevent flaring around the top of the hole when driving in threaded inserts or screws. Then load the Easy Lock driver tool into the drill press chuck and tighten it. Place the insert on top of one of the holes and line up the driver tool with the insert. Turn the chuck clockwise with one hand while holding the drill press lever steady with the other. Do not apply any more than the bare minimum of downward force required. This is very important. Turning the drill press lever too hard can shift the neck in the vise, and it also makes this a lot harder and riskier than it has to be. The inserts are razor sharp and will easily thread in on their own. Just hold the lever steady to make sure the insert is staying straight as it goes in. I wanted to show an unobstructed view of the insert threading into the neck, so that demonstration was without glue. But in practice, it's a good idea to use some wood glue around the insert before installing. This helps to make sure everything is locked in place as solidly as possible. Once an insert is installed, test it with a straight edge. The straight edge should not be touching the insert at all. It should be recessed slightly below the surface of the wood. If the insert is sticking up above the heel of the neck, even a tiny bit, thread the insert in a little more until it's just below the surface of the wood and is no longer contacting the straight edge. If you screw up the installation on any of the inserts, they're very easy to remove with the drive tool the same way you installed them. Simply press the drive tool into the insert and rotate it counterclockwise until it catches. Then continue rotating counterclockwise while slowly easing up on the handle for the drill press chuck to let it rise. You'll have the insert out in no time with no tear out. Fill the hole with glue and a hardwood dowel and you'll get a second chance. You can also use my DIY dowel center marking jig to mark the center on the dowel, then pre-cut it to be flush with the surface of the neck or slightly above the surface of the neck before driving it in. Use a brad point bit to re-drill while using the set mark as a guide. Check the description box or click the card at the top of the video now for a link to my video on the jig if you're interested in seeing exactly how I made it and how it works. After all the inserts are in, all that's left is to attach the neck to the body. Stainless steel machine screws of the same length as the original neck screws should work fine, and you can take your pick between panhead, oval head, slotted, Phillips, combination, Allen, or anything else. Go crazy with it, because if you're anything like me, this is probably the most fun you've had in a long time. So don't be afraid to live it up at your local hardware store, or at one of my personal all-time favorite online stores, boltdepot.com. As for the benefits of stainless steel inserts, I'll leave that for another video. My intention with this video was to demonstrate the most accurate and reliable methods I can personally think of for installing them. Let me know in the comments section what your thoughts are about threaded stainless inserts and what benefits or drawbacks you've found to using them. And as always, stay tuned for more guitar everything, right here on Guitar MD.